Hi, Dad. Mommy, Kenny, how'd you sleep? Dad said this with his toothbrush in his mouth. Okay, I guess. Then Dad pulled one of his famous tricks on me. He said, Kenny, look, and pointed out in the hallway. Even before I could think, my head turned around and I followed Dad's figure. When I saw nothing and looked back, Dad was smiling a mile a minute, acting like he hadn't done anything. But I noticed that his toothbrush was gone. I let him know he didn't fool me. Dad, how come you always hide your toothbrush? Why don't you keep yours with ours? Dad laughed. Well, Kenny, I guess I don't keep my toothbrush with the rest of yours because unlike your mother, I was a little boy once myself. I thought about this for a moment, then said, what does that mean? Dad picked up my toothbrush and said, look at this. Not only is this instrument perfect for brushing teeth, it has other wonderful uses too. You see, Kenny? I know that in a little boy's eyes there isn't anything in the world that is better for general cleaning than a toothbrush. And the greatest thing about it is that with a good rinse afterward, no one can tell what it was used for. I also know that the best toothbrush for cleaning stuff is always someone else's. So rather than wondering what my toothbrush last cleaned, I think it's better that it only goes places that I know about. Dad was right. I caught Byron using mine once and to shine up some quarters and another time to brush Blackie's teeth. I didn't really care, but Blackie didn't like it. That was the only time he ever growled at someone in his own family. Dad was stirring the soap dish up with his shaving brush, and I got close to the sink to smell the soap. Dad painted his face with the soap, then bent down and rinsed it off. I know it sounds crazy, but he always did this twice. He said it really made your beard super soft. He learned that because he used to work in a barber shop when he was a little boy. That's where he also learned that if you go to the barber shop, you've got to make sure your neck is real clean. Otherwise, the barber talks about you like a dog after you leave. So, Dad said as he put the second coat of soap on his face, let me guess, why you're standing so close? Could it be that you want to soap up your face and hold you up here while you shave it off? It's been a long time since you've done that. Oh man, I'm way too old for that. Besides, I'm starting to get a real mustache. Just look, I stuck my upper lip up for Dad to see. Where? He leaned down real close. Here, look. Maybe if you got closer to the light. Dad bent over and picked me up to the mirror. I automatically turned my head sideways when I saw my reflection. Some of the time, I forgot all about my lazy eye. Well, I don't believe it. If you squint your eyes and look real hard, there's no doubt about it. This boy's got a real mustache going here. I didn't know if Dad really could see it or not, but I knew it was there. He put me down. Won't be long before you and I have to shave and share this mirror in the morning, huh? I couldn't help it. Even though I knew he might be kidding, I broke out in a real big smile and nodded my head up and down. Dad started shaving. Well, just so there's no problems, I've got seniority on you. So I get the bathroom first. Deal? Seniority. That's a word that means that you are older and you get to have seniority over another person so that you would get to go first. You've been doing something longer than the other person. Deal. When Dad finished, he asked me, you're too old for a little old spice. You're not too old for a little old spice. He slapped the cologne on me and said, I don't want your mother to know I put this aftershave on you. What, with you smelling so good and all these new mustache coming on, I don't want your mama blaming me when all these little girls start attacking you. I twisted my face up. We walked into the living room to watch cartoons. But when we got there, Dad kept going and said, "If your mother gets up before I'm back, just tell her I won't be long." "Where are you going, Daddy?" Joey asked. Daddy gave his famous answer, "Out," and closed the door behind him. Dad met Miss Felix the cat, Soupy Sales, Beamy the seal, the Ray and Dean show, and Betty Boop. He missed Mama getting up and Byron getting up. When he finally got back, we were all sitting on the couch watching the worst cartoon ever made, Clutch Cargo. Dad walked in and turned the TV off. "Dad? Sorry, kids. Everybody got to come outside right now. You too, Daddy-O. And you too, Alona. I've got a surprise." Dad made us stop at the front door and get in a line, one behind the other. Mama first, then Byron, then me, then Joey. Except for bald-headed Bob, we were all laughing and wondering what Dad's surprise was when he opened the door. Following Dad, we walked down the front porch and steps and stood on the sidewalk like a little parade. I bet the neighbors wondered what the weird Watsons were doing this time. "All right," Dad said. "When I say it, I want everybody to close their eyes. And I'm warning you, anyone who looks before I tell you to is going to get it." My eyes, of course, would be sealed. If a bomb exploded under me, I'd be standing in the hole with my eyes sealed. Even if my head got blown off, they'd have to say, "Here's that kid's head," and yep, his eyes are locked tight as a safe. Byron said, I was stupid for listening to everything that Mom and Dad said. But if I was so stupid, why was he the one who had a great big bald, shiny, knotted up head? Dad said, "Okay, now hold that person in front of your shoulders, by the shoulders. Willona, you hold on to mine. This is only going to take a minute." He said that last part because Mama rolled her eyes and was real close to stopping everything by turning around and going back into the house. "All right, close them." Mama gave him her last straw look and closed her eyes. Then he did. Then so did we. Dad shuffled us ahead a little bit, and then we all stopped. It was real hard not to peek. "Okay, keep 'em shut. I'm not playing." I heard a car door open, heard a loud pop, then heard Byron say, "Oh, man!" Me and Joey cracked up. We knew a certain person had peeked and got popped right smack jab on that bald head. Finally, Dad said, "That's it. Open your eyes. What do you think?" Dad had opened the driver's side of the brown bomber and was standing there with one arm pointing their way inside. In the middle of the dashboard to the right of the steering wheel, something real big was sticking out. Excuse me. Dad had taken one of our giant towels and set it over the thing. Everybody stood there staring. Finally, Mama said, "Daniel, what on earth is that towel doing in there?" "The towel is fine, Willona. Aren't you wondering what's underneath it?" "Yeah, Dad. What is that thing?" I asked. "Well, Kenneth, since you seem to be rather the only one with any curiosity, I guess you'll be the one who gets to unveil the bomber's latest edition." I crawled into the front seat and raised the corner of the towel so no one but me could see what was under it. I couldn't believe it. "Dad, it's great." The rest of them, Byron included, crowded up to the brown bomber's door. Mama had a worried voice. "What have you done to this car now, Daniel? What's under that towel?" I grabbed the corner of the towel. "Ladies and gentle," Byron interrupted me. When he saw I was going to tease him, he said, "Aw, man, just pull that blame towel off so I can get out of here. I ain't got all day to listen to your mess." He was always in a hurry to get out of someplace, but never had any place else to go. "Byron, how many times do I have to tell you about saying ain't? And Kenneth, you stop playing and move that towel this minute, Mama said. I talked real fast before Mama could get any madder. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest addition to the Brown Bomber. I whipped the towel aside. Our very own drive around record player. Mama went, "Oh my God!" and Dad gave Dad a dirty look, then walked back in the house. Joey squealed, "Oh boy!" Even cool old Byron forgot how cool he was and screamed out, "Oh man, this is too hip. No one's got one of these, Speedy. Don't even have one in his Cadillac. Too much, man. Way too much." Joey and Byron climbed into the car on either side of me. We all said, "Turn it on, Daddy." I knew Dad was kind of disappointed by the way Mama had acted. She really hurt his feelings by walking off like that. Some of the time, I think she forgot how sensitive Dad was. Even though he acted cheery with us, I knew it wasn't the same for him now. I knew if Mama had stayed and hadn't gone off about rambling about money, we would have been having a lot more fun. But Dad forgot all about his stuff real quick and got excited about showing off the record player. Dad was like me. He loved putting on a show. Or as Mama said, we both loved acting the fool. Dad was the best at it though, and I couldn't wait until I was as good as he was. "Well, well, well," Dad said, leaning down into the car. "I see you three have the ultimate in taste. I see you've chosen the top of the line, the cream of the crop, the True Tone AB 700 model, the Ultra Glide." We had to, because right on the front of the record player is a big red letters that said TTAB 700 Ultra Glide. As I'm certain you are aware of the problems in the past with the new technology and automotive sound, has been road vibration interfering with an accurate dispersal of the phonic interpretations. "Huh?" Byron said. Dad said, "In other words, I'm sure you know that on the good old days, every time you drove over a bump, one of them things, the needle would jump and scratch the record." Me and Joey played along. We know. And I'm sure such a fine, intelligent-looking family as this one. It is Mr. and Mrs. Watson and your son, isn't it? "Oh, no," Joetta said and pointed at Byron. "This isn't our son. This is just a little juvenile delinquent boy that we feel sorry for and let follow us around some of the time. Our real son has hair." Even this didn't bother Byron, who was amazed by the Brown Bomber's latest addition. Dad kept imitating that guy who sold him the record player. Yes, as I'm sure a nice family like this one is aware, it was only last year that the scientists at Autotronic Industries made a brilliant, beautiful, breathtaking breakthrough and developed a suitable system for controlling these vibrations. "Yeah," I said, "I saw it last night on the news. Walter Cronkite said it was a miracle." Dad laughed. "Precisely, Mr. Watson. Walt has 2 of these babies in his car and 1 on his motorcycle." We know. Yes, the vibration problem has been overcome by the exclusive vibrodynamic lateral anti-international dampering system. Dad had memorized that word because right on the arm of the record player it said DDLAI, dampering patents. "Come on, Daddy, turn it on. Stop teasing." Now, Mrs. Watson, be patient and tell the little delinquent that follows you around that if he touches one more knob on that record player, I'm going to pull his fingers off." Byron mumbled and sat back in his seat. "Before I dazzle you with the symphonic sound of this unit, let me point out some of its less appreciated features." "Oh, please do." Oh man, just turn the blame thing on. If I gotta listen to all this jive, I'm gonna go in the house and get some real cool sounds. Byron opened the passenger door and ran into the house. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Watson, I'd like to direct your awareness to the rear of your classical automobile. Me and Joey crawled up on the back seat and looked at the back window. On the rear shelf, a hole had been cut and had covered with the same stuff that was on the screen door. I can see you're wondering what that is. Well, let me explain. What we have here is, believe it or not, a second speaker. And I can tell by that intelligent look on your face, Mrs. Watson, that you have grasped that the speaker is not placed in the rear deck haphazardly. No, ma'am. Some people think we just have a hole hacked in back there, but there is an old mechanic. But nothing could be further from the truth. That opening is scientifically and mathematically positioned by a factory-trained technician to enhance the TTAB 700's true high-fidelity sound. Wow. Byron exploded through the front door with an armful of 45s, and Mama was on his tail. 45s? Those are an album, but they're smaller albums. They only play one song. Where you may have seen albums in the stores and they have like 5 to 8 songs on each side, but a 45 album only has one song on each side. She trailed Byron all the way to the car, fussing at him the whole way. I knew she was using Byron as an excuse to come back out and see what was going on. I guess all the laughing and fun we were having made her want to join in. Now that she was back, Dad started really cutting up. Well, Mrs. Watson, Dad said, but not to Mama, to Joey. I see your beautiful young daughter has decided to join us. And not a moment too soon either. Why don't you scoot over a bit and let her in? Joey loved this chance to pretend she was Mama's mom. She patted the seat next to her and said, "Come on in, honey. This is really cool." Mama slid in under the steering wheel with a halfway smile on her face. "Wonderful, wonderful," Dad said. Byron lifted the record that was already on the turntable and started putting one of his own cool songs on. "Put it back, son. You'll get your turn. First, we have a special request from a certain young lady to a certain handsome young man. If you'll excuse me, ma'am, I'll just reach in and put it on." Mama puckered her lips to squeeze down a smile and crossed her arms over her chest. Joetta giggled and me and Byron scrunched our faces up. Mama did a fickety little slap of his hand and smiled. Dad turned the key on the brown bomber, fired up. "Okay, young lady, here's that special number you requested." Dad couldn't help himself and started imitating the disc jockey. "Here's the man with the putter. Here's the spin and the platter. Why it doesn't matter, 'cause the world is getting fatter. I'm the man with the tune that'll take you to the moon, that'll make your poor heart swoon. I'll hold you like a spoon. I'm the man with the jive," Byron chirped in. Ain't that the whole natural truth? But Dad didn't miss a beat. "Put your love thing in drive. Bring your little world alive." Mama slapped the car seat. "Daniel, start that record." All right. Dad stopped his rhyming, not because Mama told him to, but because I bet he ran out of stupid points. But first, let me tell you all out there in Radio Land that this number was requested by Miss Willona Sands for the wonderful, wonderful man in her life, the big daddy of love, Daniel Watson. We at Flint's only soul station, Wham, dedicate this song to Daniel from Willona. Spin it, maestro. Dad reached over past Mom to start the record player. Joey grabbed my arm with one hand and squealed into her other one. Byron was grinning like a giant bald-headed kindergarten baby. Mama still had her arms crossed but was starting to smile. She brought one hand up to cover her mouth. My foot was tapping on the brown bomber's floor a mile a minute. and I couldn't make it stop no matter what I did. I guess I was grinning pretty hard, too. Dad's hand touched the knob that had "Start" written on it, but before he turned it, he pulled his hand back and said, "First, however," we all screamed, "Daddy!" "Oh, man, come on, Dad." Daniel. But Dad wasn't through yet, and you couldn't rush him. In fact, the more you complained, the longer he'd take. He put his hand up to stop the noise. But first, we at Wham want to apologize to the 9 other women who called in requesting love songs to be dedicated to Daniel Watson. If they stay tuned, we'll play their songs later in the evening. Mama said, "That's it," and started climbing out of the car. It was a fun "that's it," though, not a serious one. Dad blocked the door and finally turned the knob that said "Start." Then he got into the back seat. We all froze. Even the brown bomber seemed to get quieter as a VDLAI arm from the record player lifted and moved toward the 45 that was on the turntable. The arm dropped and a hollow little boom bounced around in the car. A moment of silence, and then the most beautiful notes of music I'd ever heard came from the front of the car and the back of the car at the same time. Doom da doom 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 da doom 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 da doom doom doom